Turn off the lights. Take what you want from this. Try to catch me by surprise. Tell me what you wanna see. Bring me to the edge. Get me time and time again. We rise for miles above the world. On and on, let it burn all night. We won't even stop for the morning light.
And noise projects these two teams to be some of the best in the district, but you throw that added component like you referenced from last.
They call it the big time. Got your name in lights. Now you're gonna shine. Got them in your sights. Yeah.
just trying to find a way out. I don't wanna tell you how to live, but I just don't want you to miss. And I don't mean to scare you, I want you to live, and I dare you to give this life all you have. Yeah, all you have. Whoa, whoa, we are legendary. We are not ordinary.
It's Panther Friday night on Radio, the Red Rail rivalry. The Mustangs of Grapevine and the Colleyville Heritage Panthers, all coming up next here on Radio. He's into the end zone for the touchdown. That's 6. Panther Friday night on Radio, final game of the regular season. Happy to be with you this evening. I'm Will Connerly, AJ Juarez alongside us in the broadcast booth here in Grapevine, Texas tonight at Mustang Panther Stadium. Coming up on the pregame show, we will preview this matchup between the Mustangs and the Panthers here at Mustang Panther Stadium, another edition of the Red Rail rivalry, and talk about this matchup, both of these teams, and the implications for this game, along with our keys to victory tonight here for Colleyville. And for the Panthers, hey, let's just start it out with that. We look at a Colleyville team that is 7-2, 6-1 in district play, and this evening, things that they're going to need to look at. We tell you they need to control the game early. That's why AJ Juarez and the rest of our production team said keys to the game. Let's get them in this show early. And for Colleyville, it's controlling the game early on. Meanwhile, the fact of the matter is they've been a great second half team over the last 4 weeks. They've only allowed 13 points in total in the second half, including 2 shutouts in the second half. So the Panthers' defense really was a theme from the jump this year. The first week of the year, they have a second half comeback victory, and that's kind of been the makeup of this team. However, they know what's in front of them tonight, and that is another key. Throw the records out in this ball game. You look across the way, you look on the other side, and it is a Grapevine team that has mightily struggled this year, both sides of the ball. It has been a mighty struggle for this Grapevine group right now. They lost all 7 all-district performers from last year, and a team right now that sits at 0-9, trying to avoid a winless season tonight. And when you look at the record, you can say, okay, maybe chalk this one up for Colleyville, but speaking with head coach Jerry Edwards earlier this week, he said, hey, in this type of rivalry matchup, we throw the records out. Everything's out the window. They're playing for everything. And for Colleyville, the thing that they play for is momentum going into the postseason. Earlier today, their postseason matchup for next week, they'll take on Anna next Friday night here at Mustang Panther Stadium at 7 o'clock. Anna, the defending state champions in 4A, getting bumped up to 5A this year. And Colleyville has an opening round playoff matchup, a tough one against the reigning state champ. And the third key to the game tonight, master of the wet conditions. Who can perform better in these wet Rainy conditions tonight, rain all throughout the Metroplex. Tornado watches earlier today. Lightning warnings also have been going on, and so some kickoffs have been moved way up in the Metroplex. Some have been pushed back, but that will affect the game both of these teams like to run, and you think with the wet conditions, keeping it on the ground is likely going to be the case again this evening. I'm Will Connerly, happy to be with you here on Tradio. It's Panther Friday night. It continues next. We'll take a visit from head coach Jerry Edwards on the other side.
The clock is ticking. It's last call on 24s at Classic Chevrolet. As the #1 dealer in the world, a huge selection of 24s remain with model year-end savings, like new Silverados, $14,000 off MSRP. Or 0% APR is back. Time is running out to get model year-end savings before they're sold. New Silverados, $14,000 off MSRP will not last. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Will Connerly back with you on Panther Friday night here on Tradio. A weather delay is in effect before we get going this evening. On the big scoreboard, it says due to severe weather, in the area, they are currently suspending the game. All players and officials are returning to the locker room. Everyone else will exit the stadium and go to the weight room of the field house. And that's what they have on the Jumbotron. We'll try to get you a shot of that at some point and stand by to see when we will ultimately kick off this game. But it's going to be delayed. All signs point toward that with a severe weather alert, lightning in the area, suspending this game before we can even get it started.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Fix that hair on the right. Just give me hands. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey. Hey, you. 40-yard line. Big guy. No, the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today to schedule your session. Metroplex Headshots. Unleash your professional image.
Well, you see there a severe weather alert, severe weather in the area. They're currently suspending that game. We're going to get more information as it develops, but you see fans leaving the stands in the stadium. We're getting set for this big Red Rail rivalry matchup, but fans leaving, and we're going to step aside and try to figure out when this show will get on the road fully, but a severe weather alert is in the works here right.
The clock is ticking. It's last call on 24s at Classic Chevrolet. As the #1 dealer in the world, a huge selection of 24s remain with model year-end savings, like new Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP. Or 0% APR is back. Time is running out to get model year-end savings before they're sold. New Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP will not last. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
So we're going to step aside and wait for some further details. Severe weather alert in the works right now. This kickoff will be delayed, presumably 30 minutes from the lightning strike that occurred about 5 minutes ago. So we'll see. We'll get more details once we get those updated. We'll pass them along to you, so stay with us here on Panther Friday Night on Tradio. with you here on Panther Friday night on Tradio. Well, we will turn back the clock. It's the end of the season right now, final week of the regular season. Colleyville will play next week against defending state champion Anna in the opening round of the playoffs here on Mustang Panther, here on Tradio. However, here on Tradio right now, with the severe weather alerts in the area, we're going to wind back the clock to a fantastic Week 1 matchup, second half of action. Colleyville, they've been a second half team all year long. And let's revisit the second half. Colleyville, Red Oak, to open the season here at Mustang Panther. Hope you enjoy and hope we can talk to you soon for some Colleyville Heritage football here on this Friday evening.
Please welcome to the field the Colleyville Americans High School Marching Band. Freshman of the week is Kieran Burke. Member of the week is Tommy Davis. Section of the week is percussion. Colleyville Heritage Show is entitled Panther Pride and includes the Hay Song, China Grove, and the CHHS Fight Song. Colleyville High School is proud to present from Eastern Family Shepherd, Tammy Bott, Caleb T, Elizabeth Traffic, and the Colleyville Heritage Panther Band.
Well, there's some great news. Teams are back out on the football field, and football is going to be played tonight. That's what all signs indicate, hoping we can get this one underway as the teams come out from the weather delay. Expected kickoff was 6 o'clock, so before we got going on a kickoff that got moved up, that news was announced yesterday. We're getting ready for a 6 o'clock kick, and teams really didn't show much warming up prior to the scheduled kickoff time. Lightning happened, but now the fans are coming back into the stands, and the teams are warming up. You see Colleyville in the all-red color rush, ready for this red rail rivalry between Colleyville and Grapevine. So that is good news. We're on the Corey Kessler Home Loans pregame show. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. Will Connerly with you this evening, and we will be right back, and we'll pay a visit with head coach Jerry Edwards on the other side and get this show on the road.
The clock is ticking. It's last call on 24s at Classic Chevrolet. As the #1 dealer in the world, a huge selection of 24s remain with model year-end savings, like new Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP. Or 0% APR is back. Time is running out to get model year-end savings before they're sold. New Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP will not last. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
Spot, you've already clinched. Well, Coach Jerry Edwards, this is Panther Friday night on Tradio. Coach, final week of the regular season. Your team's already clinched a playoff spot. You've already clinched your playoff seeding. What's the mindset going into this game?
Well, it's a rivalry game, and so all of that's thrown out the window. Pride's on the line. The Red Rail is a tremendous rivalry game between us and Grapevine, and so we're excited to get out there and play. These kids have grown up together, know each other really well, so it'll be a fun game, regardless of records and all that. When you get into rivalry games, it's all about who wants it more.
And for your group, getting ready for this week, and like you said, throwing everything out the window, do you feel the extra excitement in the locker room for a game like this between two teams that share the same field?
Yeah, I think so. Every week, you can tell there's a little bit of different bounce in their step when they know it's the Red Rail week. Kids look forward to this game. The community looks forward to this game. And, last year was my first time to be a part of it. And, you drive down Colleyville Boulevard and see the banners hanging down the street, advertising for the game, that it's important for the community. And so our kids know that. And so, it's been a good week of practice.
Speaking of good weeks and at least good opportunities to talk to your team, one trend that I noticed, Coach, is the way that your defense has played in the second half over the last 4 weeks. You had a shutout against Deverman. You had a shutout against Seguin in the second half, just 6 points against Summit, and then just 7 against Burleson in your most recent 35-14 victory. The defense continues to show that they can get better during the game, despite not starting quickly in ball games like you talked about last week. That they eventually seem to come around and put together a really strong third and fourth quarter. What do you make of that?
Well, I think our kids have, have done a good job of making the halftime adjustments and adjustments on the sideline to what we're seeing. We're always going to get everybody's best shot. I think, around the district, coaches watch and know that, have a lot of respect for our defense. And so typically we're not going to see, we're going to see some adjustments that they've made to try to take some advantage of what we're doing. And then it just takes a little while for our kids and our coaches to adjust to it and get rocking and rolling. I thought we did a tremendous job the other night, even in the first 2 quarters. I know they got a late touchdown right before half on a long fumble recovery. And then we had a chance to get off the field with no points. But, we created about 4 turnovers throughout that course of that game. Gave our offense opportunities with short field. And we just didn't capitalize on those offensively. Now, in the second half, we did. But, I think our defenses have been playing good. Once we get settled in and rolling, those guys do a tremendous job.
And I thought when you referenced last week's game and for your team to get on the board first and do some things, I thought that was one of the better drives your team. I mean, I was counting up in the booth, 18 plays you went on that drive down the field for the first score and went over 6 minutes and you scored the first play of the second quarter. It felt like that was a really strong drive and some of the types of things you look for the Panthers offense to be able to control the ball and march it down the field against an opponent.
Yeah, I was super proud of those kids. Anytime you can go on an 18-play drive and put it in the end zone, that's from a defensive perspective, that's a backbreaker. Where teams just line up and are getting 3 or 4 yards at a pop and continually moving the balls and getting first downs. And it takes a lot of discipline to do that. Necessarily don't live and die by the big play. We just want to have positive plays, and that's kind of what we talk to our kids about, we want to be 3 to 4 yards on every play. And if you put enough of those together, just happened to be 18 the other night, you'll find your way into the end zone.
And heading into this matchup tonight, I know that you mentioned, hey, going up against the Mustangs, it is a big rivalry. You throw the records out, but they have been eliminated for the playoffs for a handful of weeks now. When you look at their group, though, what stands out most? They've had some games where they've really run the ball and moved the ball quite a bit, despite not struggling quite a bit this season on the field. What do you make of their group?
Well, I think they're, a lot of credit to them for, they've had some struggles this year, but, they picked themselves back up and they play hard in every game that they've been in. They've just been a little overmatched in a lot of those games. But, I expect them to come out and they do run the football. They're an option-based team, and I think that's what they do best. I think their coaches are going to do a good job of looking how we've lined up in years past and even maybe last year, finding a way to get a hat on a hat and create some one-on-one opportunities. So we've talked to our kids at length about that this week is, when you're in the open field one-on-one with the pitch man or the quarterback, we got to break down and make tackles, and everybody else, you got to shed your blocks and get to the ball. And so, I think that they'll, try to establish the run early. They've struggled throwing the football a little bit, and there might not be a lot of passing, with the weather moving in. It's going to be a wet game, and so that'll kind of dictate some things too. And, they always say the weather is a great equalizer. And so we've talked to our kids all week in practice about making sure that, the ball's going to be wet for both teams, but we can't let external factors factor into how we execute. We got to focus a little bit more on the catch and hold on to the ball a little tighter when we're running with it, and do all those things. Make sure our cleats are firm in the ground when we're making cuts, so we can't use that as an excuse and execute to a high level.
Well, that is great stuff, Coach. Appreciate you always visiting with us as we finish up the regular season and your group gets ready for the playoffs. But tonight, it ought to be a lot of fun getting ready for football here in November. So thanks for spending some time with us. And, again, looking forward to this big rivalry matchup here this evening.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Go Panthers. Roll.
That is head football coach Jerry Edwards joining the program here this evening. Glad he could take the time to do that. And we're looking forward to this matchup. Jerry Edwards in his second season and across the way for Grapevine. They come into this matchup 0-9, 0-7 in district play. And Bob DeBess, Grapevine, if you just turn the clock back to 1 year ago, they were able to notch a district runner-up finish, got to the playoffs in DeBess's first season as head coach, and heading in with this realignment, going into 3-5A D2 with the likes of Colleyville Heritage and Argyle, the 1 and 2 seeds in this district. The Eagles looking for that unblemished district record with tonight's proceedings. But with those strong candidates, it was a Grapevine team that was district runner-up a season ago, getting to the playoffs, but trying to do it again in a tougher district has certainly shown here in 2024 with one of the state's toughest district alignments here in 3-5A D2. Grapevine, the team that does like to run the ball quite a bit, and they did bring some guys back on that defense, but lost quite a bit of guys and trying to find their way, and they're coming off a loss to Argyle. That was the top team versus the bottom team in the district a week ago, and 62-7 was the final score in that matchup. And just moving the ball in general, that's going to be a key tonight for the Mustangs. In 3 of their last 4 games, they've scored 10 or fewer points, including a shutout loss against Burleson a couple weeks back, a team that Colleyville easily handled a week ago and had their starters and exit the game in the fourth quarter of that one. But their last 2 weeks, they have suffered blowout losses. But again, here in the Red Rail rivalry, it's Grapevine looking for their first win of the season. And Colleyville, they're looking to ride into the postseason with momentum. The 2024 edition of the Red Rail rivalry, the idea coming back up in about 2006, back when the rivalry was born 10 years prior to that, obviously with the railroad separating the 2 high schools here in Grapevine, Texas. Both schools with red in their colors. The Red Rail rivalry has been a great tradition. Colleyville leads the all-time series 16-12 and won last year 43-7. So we'll see if Colleyville can continue things here on Panther Friday night on Tradio. You just heard from head football coach Jerry Edwards. On the other side, we'll look more into these groups and catch the Panther starting lineup when we come back. This is Panther Friday night on Tradio.
All right, Buster, come on, you got this. Fix that hair on the right. Just give me hands. Give me the vicious kitty. Perfect. Hey. Hey, you. 40-yard line. Big guy. No, the other guy. I've seen your LinkedIn picture. It's not great. Bless your heart. You need a new headshot. And since you're not watching the game, watch this.
Unleash your professional image with Metroplex headshots. From individual headshots to executive team portraits, we deliver exceptional quality. Metroplex headshots combines artistry and expertise to create headshots that make an impact. Visit our website at metroplexheadshots.com or call us today to schedule your session.
Panther Friday night on Tradio here on the pregame show. Bryson Burgess, Dax Severson, Bodie Weaver, and Luke Graves, the captains for Colleyville in the all-red Color Rush uniforms, looking sharp tonight. So the coin toss is done. It will be Colleyville. We wait for just a moment. He said defer to the second half, but trying to see which team ended up deferring so we can set up the matchup of who's going to start with the football in this game. So Colleyville, as suspected, won the toss, defers to the second half, and Grapevine will start with the football in this Red Rail rivalry matchup. Colleyville at 7-2 and 6-1 in district play, putting together a really quality year once again under the direction of second-year head coach Jerry Edwards. Led the team to a 12-2 mark last year, getting to the regional finals, and 7-0 in district play. Colleyville has secured the number 2 seed in this district, as they were projected to be a competitor for the top. And with this difficult realignment and even the loss of Braden Blewett earlier in the year, they found a way to secure a top 2 spot and find themselves with a home playoff game coming next week. We'll step aside for the anthem. Anthem is complete. Mustang Panther Stadium here in Grapevine, Texas is full, and we're excited for action about to get underway tonight. After a 30-plus minute delay as the clock strikes 6:31, we're getting going early compared to most Friday nights that kick at 7 o'clock. However, if you're just tuning on the channel and didn't get the memo that the game got moved up to 6, you haven't missed a thing. Just got done with our pregame action, and in there, getting ready as we went on the air back at 5:30, leading up to a projected 6 o'clock kick. A lightning delay pushes back the game here, and the ball going to be teed up in the air at approximately 6:32 p.m. this evening. Ryan Zuckert has it teed up, and he will do the kickoff. He's booted it into the back of the end zone on 31 of his 51 kickoffs with a big, strong leg. And this one, fair caught in the end zone, but same result. But this Red Rail rivalry, as you hear from the public address, is underway. Brady Boozer made the fair catch in the end zone to allow the Mustangs to start with the football at the 25-yard line. A 62-degree evening here in Grapevine, Texas, and we are set for action. Jalen Holmes, the quarterback. Julian Contreras, the running back, lined up in the pistol. Holmes flips it back to Contreras. He loses the football, and Bryson Burgess comes swarming in. So a big negative play on the initial play from scrimmage for the Mustangs. Up front, they've got some size, 270 pounds. Again, a team that was runners-up in their district, same district as Colleyville last year. That Colleyville won. They both move over to 3-5A and meet here in the final week of the regular season for this Red Rail rivalry, which is approaching 3 decades of history. Once Colleyville's doors opened, this rivalry began. But it makes it second down and long. And it will be Contreras who is bottled up once again. Dax Hebeson combines on the tackle with Dadrian Gaines. That's a good stop from the senior defensive back, Gaines, who switched his number to number 4 earlier in the year. He comes up and is able to make that stop and cleaned up with Dax Hebeson as well, who's just been all over the place this season, 4th on the team with 55 tackles, and he's been getting involved offensively as well. Sets up this 3rd and long. Holmes gets the snap. Pressure comes. It is caught outside the 20 in a big burst of speed. Boozer down the sideline, and he goes to the end zone. Touchdown on 3rd and long. It's the Mustangs who strike first. The senior wideout, Brady Boozer, with a big-time play. And Grapevine scores first. An 81-yard touchdown run by Brady Boozer. Caught it right around the line of scrimmage, not too far up the field, and he did the rest. An 81-yard hookup to the senior wideout. And the point after is converted. Grapevine strikes first. They lead 7-0. Here in this Red Rail rivalry, a quick drive, and they move it all the way down the field. 82 yards to Brady Boozer. And look at him go. On the replay, it's Boozer all the way down the sideline, and he takes it for the touchdown. So just like that, Grapevine takes the lead. And now Colleyville will get the football. 7 points on the board for Grapevine. Just the 3rd play of the game. We've already seen fireworks. It was a 43-7 win for Colleyville last year. But on the 3rd play of the game, 7 points easily put on the board for the Mustangs. On 3rd and a mile, they go to the senior wideout, Brady Boozer. And his first touchdown of the year, just his 5th catch. He has come to play tonight in this rivalry matchup. Marches it down the field in short order for the Mustangs as the conditions have cleared up and we are underway for action here at Mustang Panther. In a short kickoff, Dax Hebeson makes it at the 35 and falls down around the 37, where Colleyville will start with the football. Being down Early in ball games, that's been a theme for the Panthers, but it hasn't really stopped their progress in terms of winning ball games this year. They've trailed a lot as of late, 7-0, 14-0 deficits, and then that's when Colleyville starts to play their best football. Tonight, no exception, as Brady Boozer scores an 82-yard touchdown to start this ball game off and make it a 7-0 Grapevine lead. Nick Wankambi comes in motion, handoff to Bryce Abram across the left side, and the tackle is made by Tatum Evans around the 40-yard line. A pickup of a couple yards there, a 2-yard gain by the running back. And the senior back there now, Bryce Abram. Bodie Weaver in the pocket, fires it out toward the 50-yard line, and it is caught. Big catch made by Blake Wendler. He is a guy they've really looked for in the red zone, and the tight end makes the catch around midfield to pick up the first down. A lot of his catches in the red area, 2 of his 7 prior to that one have been touchdowns. Gets about 10 yards a catch, but the tight end comes up big there, and now it's a run up the right side there for Bryce Abram, and he picks up about 4 yards on the carry. As Colleyville started this drive at the 38, they've picked up a first down. And now second and medium here for the Panthers. Another handoff to Abram. Breaks a tackle out on the right side and gets to the edge for the first down. A pickup of about 9 on the carry for Bryce Abram. And the senior running back who leads the team in rushes and attempts has been carrying the load in the backfield along with Gerard Wiley and Bodie Weaver. The quarterback who's run quite a bit this season as well. Gets about 35 rushing yards a game himself, but Bodie Weaver taking it himself here, and this is a big run. Bodie Weaver inside the 10-yard line, and the Panthers are set up in goal to go. Just as we mentioned, Bodie Weaver taking matters into his own hands with his legs. A designed quarterback run for Bodie Weaver. His first year as a starter, he's directed Colleyville to a 7-2 record at this point, 6-1 in district play. Guaranteed the number 2 seed. And a handoff right up the gut as Colleyville is in tight now right at the 5-yard line. Another handoff to Bryce Abram to make it 2nd and goal here for Colleyville. Weaver over 1,500 yards. He was 13 of 21 last week for just 82 yards, but threw 2 touchdowns. Trying to lead a scoring drive here. Another handoff to Abram, and he cannot go anywhere. Big tackle is made. And a nice stop by Carlos McKay, the senior secondary. Comes in to make this tackle in the backfield. Abram initially shakes a tackle, but then gets wrapped up there by McKay. And it makes it 3rd and goal for Colleyville from the 9-yard line. Gerard Wiley's now entered as the running back as 2 receivers are split to either side. Now Weaver stepping up in the pocket. He's going to run it himself. Tries to get to the end zone. He does. A 9-yard rush and a score for Bodie Weaver. And the Panthers respond after the Mustangs go 3 plays for an 82-yard touchdown on 3rd and long on their opening series. Bodie Weaver gets Colleyville on the board with his team best 6th rushing touchdown of the season. And now Colleyville going to go for it. They flip it off to Dax Hebeson, going for 2, and they get in the end zone. So Colleyville goes for 2 with success. Have not seen much of that this season. But Dax Hebeson, ball is flipped off to him. They kept the offense out there. And here's another look at the touchdown by Bodie Weaver. Steps up in the pocket. Just has to break the plane, and he does. Absorbed a hit in the process. But Bodie Weaver goes for the score. 8-7, Colleyville leads. We'll take a break. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio. So Colleyville successfully converts the 2-point try. And now Colleyville, who started the game kicking it off, will kick off again. Colleyville Heritage Kickoffs are brought to you by Texas Live. And it's fair caught. In tight. And Grapevine. Luke Stewart makes the fair catch inside the 5 to allow the Mustangs to start around the 20 at the 25-yard line after that 8-play, 62-yard drive capped by a Bodie Weaver touchdown run. And Holmes with a flip-off to Contreras. Dax Hebeson and Bryson Burgess are there to make the stop. And a loss of 3 yards on the carry. 2nd and 13 upcoming here for Grapevine. Colleyville on the opening drive for Grapevine. They stopped the run twice to set up a 3rd and long, but after they were well behind the sticks, a 3rd and 16 turned into an 82-yard touchdown to Brady Boozer. Now they set up at 2nd and long. Contreras set up in the backfield. A turn and give to Contreras, and he puts his head down. He is tackled there by Matthew Udemba, the senior defensive lineman, who is up front with Isaiah Omar, Evan Ayeta, and Demarius Logan. For this Colleyville front, and that makes it here a 3rd down, picking up 1 on that last carry, making it 3rd and about 12. Second series for Grapevine. And Holmes gives a flip off to the outside, looking to gain the edge, but Dax Hebeson and Dadrian Gaines are there to chase and force Ryling going out of bounds to make it 4th down. And on 4th and 13, as the Mustangs can't recover from the 3-yard loss on 1st down, they'll have to punt. Converted on 3rd down. On their opening drive, set up an 82-yard touchdown. Colleyville then got it back. Went 8 plays, 62 yards for the score. But this punt is off. Bryson Burgess does not attempt to make the grab, and the ball is downed at the 36, so similar field position for Colleyville here on their second drive. That opening drive, a lot of Bryce Abram to get down there, had a big hookup to get to midfield to Wendler. And then Bodie Weaver with a few big runs in the red zone to finish off the touchdown for the Panthers. They converted the 2-point try as well, and they have a 1-point lead back with the ball for their second time. And Gerard Wiley gets a carry, runs it off to the right side. And he's stopped by Luke Gormley, but not after a good pickup of about 6 on the initial carry by Gerard Wiley. The sophomore running back, he's missed one game this year, but getting over 5 yards a pop and picks up about the same there. Another carry to Wiley, trying to cut between 2 defenders, and he's still able to get another 4 yards to set up third and about 1 for Colleyville. So third and short for Colleyville. Weaver hands it off to Wiley, and he picks up the necessary yard to move the chains. That's all Colleyville will get there, though. But a fresh set of downs as they move the sticks on 3rd and 1. And this is something that has really progressed for Colleyville throughout this season, is moving the ball, controlling the possession tempo of the games. They had an 18-play scoring drive last week, and now Bodie Weaver is going to dart to the right with his legs and pick up the first, but a flag is down in the backfield. We wait for the call. It is holding against the offense. It's like they tagged 56, Wes Dalio-Cubic, the right tackle. He's trying to set the edge for Bodie Weaver on that run. But that makes it 1st and 20 after the 10-yard penalty. Grapevine started with the ball and scored. Colleyville answered with the score. Grapevine then punted, and now Colleyville has it for a second time. They give it off to Gerard Wiley, who muscles forward to the 40-yard line. A pickup of about 3 yards on the carry. On a 62-degree night here in Grapevine, Texas, it's Panther Friday night on Tradio. This first quarter brought to you by IFC Roofing. 2nd down and 17 for Colleyville. Weaver in the gun. Moves Wendler in motion and throws it out to Wiley. Wiley moving up the field. He's pushed down by Gormley. And the inside linebacker is able to make the stop. The team's leading tackler. Really all over the place for this Grapevine defense. Team that allows about 200 per game in the air, about 190 on the ground, nearly 400 yards allowed per game. Pressure comes on this 3rd and long. Bodie Weaver looking up the field, trying to direct traffic. Now he's going to run it himself and picks up the first down again. Bodie Weaver extending plays and extending this drive to move the chains. A huge run of about 15 yards for Bodie Weaver. He has used the legs early and often here as they rush 5 to the quarterback. Bodie Weaver sees an open gap, tried to hook up with Wankambi directing traffic, but instead uses his legs, evades a tackle by Ashton Player, and makes it a 1st and 10 for Colleyville. from the 41-yard line. Bodie Weaver now looking down the field. He's going to sprint forward again and slide down at the 35-yard line. He's going to be marked just short of that, where the knee went down on the slide for Bodie Weaver. But he's been able to use the legs tonight. So Colleyville moving the football. Second and medium, gives it off to Gerard Wiley. He's got space, and he puts the Jets on for the touchdown. Gerard Wiley from 37 yards out marches it in for the score on a fantastic run by the sophomore. Wow, what a run by Gerard Wiley. And now Landon Dressel will come out for the PATs, 9 for 10 this season on extra point tries and converts there. That extra point brought to you by Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency. A 15-7 lead for Colleyville late in this first quarter, and Gerard Wiley from 37 yards out marches it in for the score. We'll be right back. You're watching Panther Friday Night on Tradio. A 37-yard touchdown run by the sophomore running back Gerard Wiley, his 5th rushing touchdown of the season after Colleyville scored a rushing touchdown from Bodie Weaver. On their opening drive, they convert the 2-point conversion. Ryan Zuckert follows with our Texas Live kickoff through the end zone for another touchback. So this game started with Grapevine striking first, an 82-yard score. For Brady Boozer. But then Colleyville got it back, drove down the field. 8 plays, 62 yards, and a 9-yard Bodie Weaver score, then forced a punt on Grapevine's second possession. They get it back and go 8 plays, 64 yards, and a 37-yard score for the sophomore running back to now make it a 15-7 lead for Colleyville. Third time for Grapevine. They start with a throw, and it's Bryson Burgess who picks it off at the 35-yard line. Looking to hook up with Rylan Goyne, and Bryson Burgess looked like he nabbed that one out of the air. Now there's some discussion with the officials as well. Are they going to call this incomplete? Yes. So they wipe away the interception from Bryson Burgess. It's just going to be incomplete. And so Grapevine, after a 3-and-out on their last drive after scoring an 82-yard touchdown on their opening drive, here for a third time, just an incomplete pass, but a near Bryson Burgess interception would have been his 4th of the season. 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. And Contreras with the handoff. And a whole slew of Panthers come to stop the run. Just a pickup of 2 yards on the carry to set up 3rd and 8. It's Colleyville and Grapevine in the Red Rail rivalry coming down to the close of the opening quarter here. And third down awaits. We'll see if Grapevine decides to snap this ball. They can take it to the quarter if they should choose. Just 1 second of separation between the game clock and the play clock. And there it goes, the end of the opening quarter. Grapevine will face a 3rd down and 8 from their own 27 when we come back to start the second quarter. You are watching Panther Friday Night on Tradio. We'll be right back.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Red Rail Rivalry 2024 underway as we start the second quarter. A 3rd and 8 awaiting Grapevine here on their 3rd possession. A long touchdown on their opening drive of 82 yards when they faced 3rd and 16. And now, after a 3 and out on their second drive, trying to avoid the same here on their 3rd possession as we start the second quarter. They face a 3rd and 8 from their own 27-yard line. Just have picked up 2 yards on the first 2 plays of this series. Now Grapevine back to pass is Holmes. Holmes looks down the field, throws it, and ball's caught at the 30-yard line, 35-yard line. And a run right across the sticks there for Julian Contreras. And he is able to make the catch. Coming into tonight, he has certainly been the bell cow for this group, mainly on the ground, 92 yards shy of 1,000 on the season for Julian Contreras, but makes the pickup of 8 yards just to get to the line to gain and pick up the first down for Grapevine. Early stages, second quarter, when Grapevine with a fresh set of downs now. He'll hand it back off once again to Contreras, and he breaks a tackle at the 45-yard line, lowering the shoulder and picks up 11 yards for the first down. Really strong run from Julian Contreras. Had his 12th catch of the year on the play before to pick up the first down. Here, right back to the ground, and Contreras lowering the shoulder to Jaden Hall and picking up more yards before Gaines is able to push him to the turf. But that makes it 1st and 10, right around midfield, 2 yards shy of it at the 48. Jalen Holmes, the quarterback, Contreras, the running back. Man in motion. And a handoff up the middle to Contreras. And he is stopped after a 2-yard pickup. As Darian Lloyd, the weak side linebacker, comes in to make the stop. The Grapevine team that gets 153 yards on the ground per game. Just 81 passing, so a team that primarily wants to keep it down on the ground and has struggled offensively this year. 10.5 to go, second quarter. Holmes in the gun. Drops back 3, pressure comes, throws it out, and hooks up for a catch at the 45-yard line, grabbed by Luke Stewart. And Stewart, one of the leading wideouts on this team, over 200 yards receiving. Had 69 yards and a touchdown a few weeks back. In the second week of the season against Birdville, but 12 catches for 217 yards coming in this season. Now 3rd down. 2 yards to go. It will be Holmes who flips it back, and it's Contreras who makes the play, trying to design creative ways to get it to their senior running back, Julian Contreras, who comes into tonight with a good shot to get to 1,000 yards on the season. And Holmes flips it back to him. Hebeson nearly met him in time, but instead it's a pickup on third down for the first, and a pair of third down conversions on this drive has Grapevine inside Colleyville's 40-yard line. And here's Holmes. And he gets tripped up from behind. Making the sack is Darian Lloyd, as he meets Holmes in the backfield. Darian Lloyd coming in with the sack. The senior linebacker just grabbing the shoestrings of Holmes. And Jalen Holmes goes to the ground to make it 2nd and 15. Darian Lloyd in this second level of this Colleyville defense has accounted for 40% of the tackles this season for the Panthers, and Lloyd, second on the team in tackles for loss, leads the team in tackles, makes a big play there, and a handoff over there to the right side. They give it off to Jamie Sanchez, the other running back for this Mustangs group. Sanchez, Contreras, and Graham accounting for a lot of pretty much all the attempts out of that running back room for the Mustangs. But third down and 11. From the 40-yard line, Holmes throws it, and it's caught. Jaden Hall pushes down Luke Stewart to the ground. He's able to make the tackle on the 10th play of the drive, and it stalls out at the 36. And it brings out the punting unit here on 4th down. Fourth and 7 from the 36-yard line. And Holmes punts this one out of play. Going to be marked at the 15-yard line, where Colleyville will get the ball back. And we'll see if the offense can't keep it up. They scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives of this game. And with 6:52 to go in this second quarter, leading 15-7, they get the ball back. Grapevine scored on their opening drive, taking the lead as they had the opening kickoff after a touchback. Faced a 3rd and long, but hooked up for an 82-yard score. Colleyville, though, responded with a touchdown, forced a 3 and out. Scored another touchdown, leading 15-7. They force another 3 and out. Back-to-back for Grapevine. Another punt, and that's thrown over to the far side. Nickwan Combi in there, and he makes the grab, but they say he was out of play as he couldn't tiptoe the sideline. In this Compass Church second quarter, Weaver with time in the pocket tries to fire it on the move to Wancombe, and he just can't stay in play. So Colleyville forces a punt. Grapevine got up to the Panthers' 40-yard line, and now Colleyville throws a screen out to the sophomore wideout, Samir Johnson. And he is stopped up by Lano Randolph, the junior defensive back, to make it a 3rd down. 6.5 on the clock in the second quarter. And the Panthers facing a 3rd and 5 from their own 20-yard line. Getting the ball back, starting at their 15 after forcing a punt. On 3rd and long, a huge Darian Lloyd sack in there to set up the punt. Now Weaver with pressure coming through. He will go down to the carpet And a huge play made by Grapevine. Coming in is Luke Gormley, their leading tackler. And he comes in to bring the pressure. The inside linebacker with a free rush and just bull rushes the protection that Gerard Wiley tried to provide. The running back could not pick up the blitz, though, in time, and Bodie Weaver ends up getting sacked to force this punt. Ryan Zuckert to punt from the Panthers' own end zone. And he sends a booming kick off. And a quality punt that somehow still goes inside the 30 despite being from the Panthers' own end zone. And that's where Grapevine will take back over here in a one-score ball game with 5 minutes to go in the first half. So first time Grapevine had it, their third play of the game, they score a touchdown, then a 3-and-out, followed by a drive where they picked up a couple first downs. Julian Contreras got it going on the ground. They get inside the 40-yard line, but then are forced to punt from the 36 where the drive stalled out. Colleyville gets it back, and they have a 3-and-out of their own to give it right back to the Mustangs with about 5 to go until halftime. And they start at their own 27-yard line. Holmes on the run pass option. It's caught out on the far side by Ian Hatton, forced out by Colleyville. With a nice pickup on the play. Getting 8 yards on the catch, and Hatton is there on the RPO. Bryson Burgess eventually forcing Hatton out of play, but not before he gets to the 35-yard line. So 2nd and 4 awaits. So they reverse it here and give the ball out to the edge, and a pickup of first down and more. Darian Lloyd forces out Luke Stewart. As Grapevine uses the reverse, they had gone with that play design with a lot of pitches early on. You saw Contreras, though, going for the block, and they pitch it on out to Luke Stewart to pick up the first down and get to the 50-yard line before Lloyd forces him out. So a 1st and 10 from midfield. And a handoff up the middle. Contreras with a ton of space. And he gets down inside the 30-yard line. Mark him at the 27. And another explosive run for Julian Contreras. The Mustangs score on their first drive, then a 3-and-out. Then they move it into Colleyville territory, forced to punt from the 36-yard line. Now they get it even closer here on this drive with a pair of first downs, and they're set up 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Another handoff right up the middle. Contreras only gets about 3, give him 4 yards on the effort. After the big 23-yard run from him, he heads over to the sideline. Dax Hebeson in to make the stop. And 2nd and about 6. 4 on the line for the Panthers. And Holmes with the play fake. Hits it out and finds Rylan Goyne. And that's a quick hookup. It was Jamie Sanchez who was in the backfield. A lot of RPO with the junior quarterback, Jalen Holmes. He's completed 54% of his passes this year for a team that It's fewer than 100 passing yards a game. He's gone for 730 this season in the air. But now it's Grapevine in the red zone. 3 to go in the first half. And Holmes with the design run. Puts his head down and gets inside the 10-yard line. Eventually stopped up. But a design run by Holmes. As he gets to the outside. Joe Nisbet comes in to make the tackle. And it's 2nd and 4. And they try to get it to the outside. Well read by Colleyville. Looking to create space on the edge was Ryland Goyne, but well read by the cornerback, Jaden Hall, and that makes it a 3rd and 4. Under 2 to go in this first half. Colleyville holding on right now to a 15-7 lead. They went behind 7-0, but then scored back-to-back touchdowns, the first of which they went for 2. But Grapevine in the red zone. 3rd down. 4 yards to go. And with 3 in the backfield, nowhere to go. Demarius Logan comes in to make the tackle on Holmes, who had the designed run there, and he is a little bit shaken up. Or check that, Colleyville called a timeout because it was one of the offensive linemen, the left tackle, Taden Sneed, the 6'2", 230-pound sophomore, who's actually down on the play, and that sets up a 4th down. So the Panthers take a timeout as they want to talk things over. Grapevine facing a 4th down in about 4. And we'll see what they decide to do here. Head coach Bob DeBess. This group looking to finish the year on a high note. 0-9 right now, but a lot to play for. Trying to, despite being eliminated from playoff contention for the last few weeks, just finish the year with some momentum and get a win over their rival heading into the offseason. So Sneed was shaken up on the play. Their starting sophomore left tackle. And it's going to be a field goal try here for Grapevine. Cade Moreland on the attempt. And the 27-yard try hits off the upright. No good. So Colleyville forces the field goal try as they don't allow Grapevine to convert on 3rd and 4, and the 4th down forced a short field goal attempt. And Cade Moreland had the distance, got the kick off, but it hits off that right upright. And now Colleyville with 3 timeouts in their pocket. They'll have a chance with 1:17 to add points before halftime. And Bryce Abram on the carry. Did he lose the football here? Grapevine says they have it. No official signal yet. Looks like Colleyville's Chandler Sampson, the offensive lineman, came up with it. And now 50 seconds left. Weaver back to pass. And he finds a man at the 40-yard line. That's Samir Johnson, who shakes a tackle and goes down the sideline to Grapevine territory. Good hookup and patience in the pocket from Bodie Weaver. And he finds the sophomore wideout, Samir Johnson. The chunk that Colleyville needed. And now another hookup to the outside. And being tackled is Landon Dressel. Hasn't seen a ton of bulk this year in terms of the catches. 20 seconds left in the half. Another run up to the 35-yard line. Looks like enough for Colleyville to pick up a first down. And they'll burn another timeout. So that's their second timeout. On the scoreboard, timeout's not correct. However, Colleyville now has one timeout remaining and 13 seconds to go. But they get down here. Looks like they were maybe just going to settle for the run and just take it to halftime. On the initial play of this drive, though, nearly catastrophic as Bryce Abram lost the football, you see right here, but somehow was able to pick it back up. Looked like he was indeed down before the ball became dislodged, and Colleyville hopped back on it either way. But with 13 seconds left in the half, Colleyville with one timeout. They have time for a quick completion in a long field goal try to add points before the break. You got trips over to the far side here for the Panthers. Bodie Weaver looking down the field, launches toward the end zone. It's caught for Samir Johnson. Touchdown Panthers for 35 yards and a score. Samir Johnson into the end zone. His third touchdown of the year. And Samir Johnson, who had a huge catch on the drive to get the Panthers into Grapevine territory. Bodie Weaver fires a dart as he runs behind the secondary of the Mustangs, and the sophomore wideout with two big catches on the drive. PAT by Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency is good, and the 35-yard score gives Colleyville a 22-7 lead as Samir Johnson just runs into the end zone. Bodie Weaver steps up in the pocket and launches it right on the money to the sophomore wide receiver, Samir Johnson, for the big 35-yard touchdown. Bodie Weaver goes for his 17th in the air this season, and Johnson catches his third. Colleyville ahead 22-7, 6 seconds until halftime. We'll be right back. So a quick scoring drive. Colleyville got the ball back with a minute and 11 seconds, or a minute and change remaining in the first half. And they need just 4 plays to march down the field and put it in the end zone for a third time this half. And the Texas Live kickoff is off and fair caught. And Grapevine will have 6 seconds to work with here until the break. But Colleyville with a 1-score lead, getting the ball back with a minute and change. They go for a run. Looked like they may have lost it. Abram was down. Then a play later, they find Samir Johnson down the sideline. Gets to Grapevine territory. And then into the end zone for a 35-yard catch as well for Johnson. And he goes into the end zone for the touchdown. leaving Grapevine with just 6 seconds to go in the half. They take a knee, and both teams go to the locker room. So here in the Red Rail rivalry, it's Colleyville leading 22-7. At halftime, they punch it in with just 6 seconds to go. In the first half, the Panthers will receive the second half kickoff, enjoying a 22-7 lead here in the final week of the regular season. We'll be back. It's Panther Friday night on Tradio, and Panthers lead as the teams head to the locker room.
The clock is ticking. It's last call on 24s at Classic Chevrolet. As the #1 dealer in the world, a huge selection of 24s remain with model year-end savings, like new Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP. Or 0% APR is back. Time is running out to get model year-end savings before they're sold. New Silverados, 14 grand off MSRP will not last. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com now.
and the Colleyville Heritage.
Panther Friday night on Tradio continues. Colleyville will start with the football in the second half as both teams have come out of the locker room after halftime and they get ready for this third quarter. Colleyville, well, they started as they've started many games as of late. From behind, they trailed 7-0 after 3 plays in this game. Grapevine scored on their opening possession, an 82-yard touchdown. And as they go deep down the field, out to Brady Boozer, and a big score for him made it 7-0 Grapevine after just 3 plays quickly into this game. However, Colleyville responded with a touchdown, got the 2-point conversion to take the lead on a Bodie Weaver 9-yard rushing touchdown. Then it was followed by a Gerard Wiley 23-yard highlight reel touchdown run. And then right before halftime, another lengthy touchdown as Samir Johnson caught one from 35 yards out as Colleyville got the ball back after a missed field goal from Grapevine at the end of the first half with a minute and change to go. And they go down and score, and they start the second half with the football, and the kickoff is off. Colleyville will start inside their own 20-yard line after the return by Dadrian Gaines doesn't go anywhere. But after Grapevine took the lead after they started with the football, Colleyville came back and they scored 22 unanswered points to take a 22-7 lead into the locker room. And now on to the field here to start quarter number 3. Bodie Weaver and the Panthers offense back to work. The Panthers looking to move to 8-2 and finish this 10-game regular season with momentum ahead of their playoff matchup. Date, time, and opponent already scheduled as Blake Wendler makes a catch for a few yards outside the 20-yard line numbers where he's marked down. Before Colleyville, they'll have Anna come to town next week. Anna won it all last year in 4A, so a tough test for the Panthers. The opening round of the playoffs, they're facing a defending state champion here at Mustang Panther Stadium next Friday night at 7. That matchup confirmed earlier today as Bryce Abraham goes for a carry. Tatum Evans comes in to make the stop, move from inside linebacker to defensive end after Bradley Stainer goes down. He was a K-State commit and got injured about 3 weeks ago. The all-district defensive end a season ago. Tatum Evans coming in to make the tackle to set up a third down. From the 25-yard line, Bodie Weaver scans the field, fires one in tight space, and makes the connection there to Nick Wankambi for the first down. And Colleyville moving on their opening drive of the second half. Bodie Weaver with plenty of time. Sampson on his blocking assignment. Parker Leatherwood up front on the left side. Eli Emerson, the center. Tucker Perryman and West Dalio Kubik have given Colleyville space and time tonight to run the football, and they tried to go right here. And Bryce Abraham, even on just a run right there that gives you a pickup of 5 and doesn't knock your socks off, it's just been the way that Colleyville has been able to control games this year, particularly when they get the lead. This high-powered, explosive offense heading into the year. You expected Bodie Weaver taking over the reins of this offense with plenty of arm talent to have so much connections down the field with Braden Blewett, and that was so present the first few weeks of the season. He goes down with injury, and Colleyville turns their offense a little bit more into ball control as Weaver is wrestled out of play. And while he was out of play, deems the official as Brady Boozer, who had the big touchdown earlier in the game, the lone scorer for Grapevine on the third play from scrimmage tonight. It's Bodie Weaver just running out of play here. You can see he gets to the sideline, and then eventually the tackle is finished by Boozer. Tough break for Grapevine as they did fly a flag there. And that's Colleyville having a 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Handoff to Abraham. He has space, and he gets tackled from behind to push him forward a few more yards. And Colleyville just going to work on the ground. Bryce Abraham, the senior running back who leads the team in rushing yards and attempts, gets about 56 yards a game. And Gerard Wiley gets about over 60 yards a game. So that two-headed monster at the running back room, along with Bodie Weaver, who fires one wide open over the middle, caught down at the 30-yard line, is Luke Graves with his first catch of the night. And the senior tight end captain makes a big catch. Colleyville wanting to hurry up here, as the Panthers have a 1st and 10 from the 30. Bodie Weaver, quick connection back to Graves, breaks a tackle and puts his head down inside the 15-yard line. Back-to-back catches for Luke Graves, and the tight end helping this opening series of this third quarter have success. But a penalty marker against Colleyville will back things up after they started with another catch to Graves down to the 15. That's wiped away, and they'll go back to the 35-yard line. So a costly penalty makes it 1st and 15. Weaver in the backfield with Abraham, and he has space to the outside. Gets beyond the numbers to the sideline, and he is forced out of play around the 20-yard line with a nice pickup to set up 2nd and short. Bryce Abraham has got 4 touchdowns on the year. It's Colleyville shy of the red zone. Moving it on this opening drive. Samir Johnson with the catch. Tries to spin after it. Makes a nice play to turn upfield. That'll be a 1st down for Colleyville. They'll have a chance to get a 1st down without getting the touchdown as well, as they're going to be set up around the 15-yard line. So Colleyville in business, moving it down the field. Opening drive of the third quarter. Wendler goes in motion, handoff to Abraham again, gets great, blocks, and runs into the end zone untouched. A touchdown for Bryce Abraham from 14 yards out, and Colleyville starting to pour it on here in the Red Rail rivalry. 28-7, the Panthers lead. Landon Dressel out for the Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency extra point. Graves with the hold, and it's booted through for the converted PAT, and a 29-7 lead for Colleyville. Once upon a time, they were down by a score, but 29 unanswered points later, the Panthers in business, and a big touchdown as they go down the field for a Bryce Abrams score, a quality drive to start the second half for the Panthers, now leading 29-7, and a 14-yard touchdown for Bryce Abrams. So for the touchdowns tonight, for the second consecutive week, Colleyville has their third rushing touchdown of the game. It started with Bodie Weaver, then Gerard Wiley with a 23-yard score, and Bryce Abrams follows with a 14-yard rush and a score of his own. Wiley and Abrams each now with 5 rushing touchdowns on the season, and Bodie Weaver upped his total to a team-best 6th with the first score of the ball game for the Panthers. But for being down 7-0, they've hung 29 on the board in unanswered fashion, and Ryan Zuckert is set for this Texas Live kickoff with this third quarter presented by MFI Roofing. So the 81-yard drive finishes with a Colleyville Heritage touchdown, 3:53 taken off the clock. And Ryan Zuckert has it set up. And the fair catch is made at the 10-yard line. So that is where the Mustangs will set up after the Dallas Davis fair catch. Grapevine had drives of 10 plays and 8 plays in the first half. After scoring on their first drive, they followed with a 3-and-out, but then 2 pretty good drives. One followed with a punt in Colleyville territory, and then their fourth got down in close and tried a short field goal, but it hit off the upright, gave Colleyville the ball back with a minute and change, and they scored to end the first half and to start the second half with a 29-7 lead. Now it's back to the Mustangs and back to the ground attack. And Evan Nayetta makes the stop right at the line of scrimmage on the carry by the senior running back, Julian Contreras, who had some good carries in the first half. But Evan Nayetta, you see, he shakes an offensive lineman and comes in to make the tackle, trying to wrestle down Contreras. And Contreras, who's been tough to tackle tonight, been running hard, gains nothing there. 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. And Holmes gets the snap, throws it out, and ball is caught, eventually tackled by Dax Everson. On the reception for the Mustangs, it's hauled in by Cale Thompson, the senior wideout. He's got 11 grabs for over 100 yards this season. His best game was against the Colony when he went 5 catches for 58 yards. And that sets up 3rd and 3 from the 32-yard line. Holmes in the shotgun, 3rd down and short. Contreras motions over. Play action, throw to the far side, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Thompson on the far side, but his receiver never turned around. And on 4th and short from their own 32-yard line, it's Grapevine who's forced to punt to start this third quarter. Colleyville in this defense, the second half defense has definitely been something, it's just really been staggering how well Colleyville's defense has played. Coming into this game, it was a story we brought up last week, but they've only allowed 13 points in the second half over the last 4 games, and that includes a pair of shutouts and then one 7-point effort last week in the second half with Burleson when the game was really out of reach. And then they allowed just 6 to Seguin in the second half as well. A handful of weeks back, however, it's Colleyville or check that to Summit. Either way, over the last 4 weeks, 2 second half shutouts defensively And again, just 13 total points over the last 4 weeks. The second half defense continues to be a story. And when Colleyville's defense is tested for the first time here in the second half, they force a 3-and-out. So a good start for a trend that is moving in the right direction for the Panthers defense. And it's back to their offense and back to the ground attack with a healthy lead. They go to Gerard Wiley on the ground, and he picks up 5 yards as Colleyville has the opportunity to start at midfield. Graves goes in motion, looks to give a lead block, and Gerard Wiley runs it forward. They get a 2nd and 5 from the 45-yard line. Another handoff to Wiley. He gets untouched all the way to the edge and moves up the field nicely before he is stopped there by the defender, Thomas Powers. The linebacker coming in to make the tackle. And the senior outside linebacker really critical in helping this Mustangs defense get lined up. But that's a first down for Colleyville, 1st and 10. And they give it back on the ground to Wiley, and he's got space once more. A good chunk on the ground again for the sophomore running back. And for the Panthers, leading 29-7. If they can hold on here in the second half, they would win their 5th consecutive game. A very balanced offense, capable at throwing the ball. Not as capable as maybe they would have hoped with the absence of Braden Blewett, who was the team's leading receiver still, despite just playing 4 games until last week when Nick Combi finally took that reign for the most yards and catches on the team, but still leads the team in receptions, and he only played 4 parts of 4 games this year, going down to the 4th with injury. But Colleyville's strong defense in the second half, particularly along with just the timely plays on special teams with the field goal unit and a return game, and then the offense running the ball with a ton of force during district play, and Bodie Weaver coming up with big plays, and when his number has been called to throw it down the field to a different cast of characters for the first-year starter outside of Blewett, they've been able to do that, and that's why they've had success here in district play. And it's Wiley who gets the carry. He's got a hole, gets to the outside for a first down. Another great carry by Gerard Wiley. Wiley up the middle here, and he gets inside the 20-yard line. Gerard Wiley is just getting fed on this drive. Carry after carry after carry for the sophomore. And with Colleyville leading 29-7, threatening to add on more here. See if they try to keep it on the ground. Wendler goes in motion. And they reverse it off to Wendler, throw it to Bodie Weaver. He makes the catch, turns into a receiver. Get your quarterback out in open space, and a little trickery for Colleyville there. Weaver took a big hit, but sets Colleyville up with goal to go. So how about some trickery from Blake Wendler, throwing it to the quarterback, Bodie Weaver, who now looks one-on-one matchup, end zone, touchdown. Have a night, Samir Johnson, his 2nd of the game, but a flag is down. As Samir Johnson goes and makes the catch, Bodie Weaver recognized single coverage and went to the sophomore wideout, who caught a 35-yard touchdown at the end of the first half. But now a flag flies, and is this touchdown going to stand? The offense stays out there. Not too sure. So unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Colleyville. That'll be assessed on the kickoff. So touchdown stands for the Panthers. Samir Johnson's second score of the night. It was Parker Leatherwood, the left tackle, who got flagged for the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in celebration of the short touchdown catch. But Samir Johnson finds the end zone for a second time this evening. The Unified Health Advisors Health Insurance Agency extra point from Ryan Zuckert is good, and Colleyville in complete control here in the Red Rail rivalry for the second consecutive year. Bodie Weaver fires perfectly, goes to the back shoulder of Samir Johnson and hauls it in, gets both feet down. An excellent catch from the sophomore wide receiver. His second touchdown of the night and his fourth of the season. He and Nick Wankambi have been the two guys to really step up in the absence of their big guy, Braden Blewett, for most all of district play. And, well, Samir Johnson's second active on the team. If you don't count Blewett, to Wankambi in those reception department. And he goes now for his fourth touchdown of the season. That now ties Blewett for the most on the season in the receiving department. And Samir Johnson having a good game, catches it from inside. And Bodie Weaver puts it on the money. So Colleyville's rushed for 3 scores. They've thrown for 2. And tack on a converted 2-point conversion as well. And you've got a 36-7 lead for the Panthers, as they have scored back-to-back times with the ball in the second half. Start with the ball and score, force a 3-and-out, and score again. And the 50-yard, 8-play drive finished with the 6-yard touchdown pass from Bodie Weaver, who's now pushed his total to 18 touchdown passes on the season. Takes 2:46 off the clock, and only needing 8 plays to go 50 yards with the 6-yard touchdown pass to finish it. The ensuing kickoff is fair caught, and it was a flag as well on the ensuing kickoff, but still going to work out as a touchback with the fair catch, but a flag still down on the play. With 3:33 on the clock here in the third quarter, we'll see what the flag's going to be. Officials trying to sort it out. Grapevine looking for what would be a miraculous comeback to get it back into the ballgame. Well, Colleyville's on their way to a 5th consecutive victory. So personal foul against Colleyville. It's on Jaden Watkins. So that'll tag 15 on from the return, which was spotted at the 25 after a touchback. So gives better field position here for Grapevine. Scored on their opening drive of the game, but nothing doing since. Got down good territory late first half for a short field goal try, but it hit off the upright. But it's up to 36 unanswered points right now for Colleyville. And Grapevine will try to answer here, but that is what has been a struggle, particularly as of late, the tail end of the first half. It's certainly here in the second half, running the football, and Julian Contreras has nothing up the right side. 2nd and 10. Upcoming for Grapevine. On a beautiful night for football. Slated to kick at 6. Well, slated to kick at 7, got moved to 6. Then we split the difference and got it going around 6:30 tonight. 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard pickup. Contreras in the backfield. It's fired over the middle. Quickly making a tackle there is Bryson Burgess on the reception to Luke Stewart. As Holmes was able to get rid of it quickly. Saw his read in the inside slant. Works out for Grapevine to Luke Stewart, and the junior makes the grab to set up 3rd and 4. Colleyville back-to-back touchdowns to start the second half, and 36 overall unanswered in this game. Now another 3rd down for Grapevine here in their second possession of the second half. Holmes turns, has room to run, and he steps up the field, and he picks up the first down. Evaded the pressure from Nehemiah Oleiwola. And Jalen Holmes is able to get the first down. Demarius Logan was first in the backfield, then he gets by Dak Sebeson and Oleiwola. He takes him for a ride for a few more yards and gets the much-needed first down for Grapevine as they're now into Panther territory. Holmes brings a man in motion. And it's a handoff up through the right side. And that'll be Jake Graham, the freshman running back. Not seen a ton of action this evening. He's been 3rd on the depth chart in that running back room this season for Grapevine, but gets a good carry on first down to set up 2nd and short. 2 yards to go for the Mustangs as they have it at Colleyville's 40-yard line. As Holmes is in the gun to split to either side. Another handoff to the right side, and a good play is made. Coming in to make the tackle initially for Colleyville is Joe Nisbet. He's been put into the game over the last few weeks, was coming off injury, and he's made a few big defensive plays, 2 consecutive games with interceptions. Makes a nice tackle there as we approach the end of the 3rd quarter, and it looks like Grapevine's going to take it there. They'll head to the sideline, Colleyville as well. And we finished 3 quarters of play here in the Red Rail rivalry here from Grapevine, Texas and Mustang Panther Stadium. You're watching Panther Friday night on Radio. We'll be back for the 4th quarter next.
Do you have a dream of having a pool and a backyard oasis? Well, it's time to talk to the professionals at J. Caldwell Custom Pools. From new construction to remodeling to service and maintenance, J. Caldwell Custom Pools is your custom pool builder and outdoor living design expert, serving you with 2 locations, Hudson Oaks and Fort Worth, because life is too short for ordinary backyards. Dive in and find out more at jcaldwellcustompools.com.
Back to start the 4th quarter of play. Rain starting to fall a little bit harder here at Mustang Panther, and a handoff right up the middle to Contreras. He's tackled by Bryson Burgess. And 2 have a quick exchange after the tackle. That'll be a first down, but the rain falling probably as hard as it has during this game. It's come in spurts. And it was really raining hard before this ball game. But it's starting to pick up just a little bit as we start the 4th quarter. And Grapevine's moving. They've got a first down and 10 from Colleyville's 27. as Julian Contreras is the lone running back in the backfield to the left of Holmes, and they go to Contreras. And they just try to make no bones about it. They want to get it to their senior running back, and Matthew Udemba comes in to make the tackle. He's been a tough guy to bring down, 5'8", 185. And the senior getting the carry, getting some good holes as well. He goes right up the middle before he is tackled. Hayden West applies the initial hit before Udemba finishes him off. 2nd down and 5 for the Mustangs. Looking to score for the first time since since the first series of the ball game. And it's Contreras on the handoff once again. Gets right to the line to gain. Seems to be enough on the carry. Well, maybe no. They mark him a half-yard shy. Either way, 4-down territory with the score and distance on the field, but they call it a 3rd and 1. So 3rd and a yard to go. From Colleyville's 17-yard line. Back to Contreras again. Dax Hebeson comes in to make the tackle, and that's going to set up a 4th down. Oh, wow. They try to go for just 1 yard for Contreras. And look at Hebeson come in to make the tackle. Evan Nayeta combines on the effort. And now it's 4th and 1. After it looked like the first down was gained, it's 4th and a yard to go from the 17-yard line. 2 in the backfield. Handoff to Contreras, and he does pick up the first down. And that'll move along the chains as the Mustangs get a fresh set of downs here in the red zone. Inside the 20-yard line, they continue to operate. As Colleyville has blown this game wide open. Just allowed the 1 touchdown on the opening drive for Grapevine, but nothing since. They're threatening now, 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Holmes back to throw. Looks up the field. He gets hit by Udemba, and Matthew Udemba comes up with the sack. The senior defensive lineman, 3rd on the team in quarterback hurries, and he comes in to make the sack. This is the 3rd drive that's been somewhat extended this evening for Grapevine. They had a 3-play scoring drive on their opening possession on 3rd and 16. They go for 82 yards to start the ball game. Colleyville since gone 36 unanswered, but in the first half, Grapevine had 2. They had an 8-play drive. They had a 10-play drive. This is the 12th play of the drive upcoming here for the Mustangs, and it will be a handoff once again, making Colleyville work to stop the run. Madden Williams is in there to make the tackle on Contreras, who has just been getting fat on a consistent diet of running attacks here tonight. It makes it a 3rd down. 3rd and about 9 yards to go here for Grapevine. Here on Panther Friday night on Tradio. Welcoming all the Mustang and Panther fans. And of course, this is Panther Friday night. There's also Mustang Friday night. Both going on here on Tradio right now. 2 different broadcasts. It's another handoff there to Contreras, and he gets to about the 15. And that will have Grapevine set up a 4th down field goal try. Went for the field goal tail end of the first half from 27 yards out, and it hit off the upright on 4th and just about 3 or 4. They're going to try a field goal here. A 31-yard try, missing from 27 earlier. The kickoff is up, and it is no good. So 2 missed field goal tries ends 2 of Grapevine's best drives of the game, where they move it methodically down the field deep into the red zone, but both times they come up short on field goal attempts, and it is no good on the attempt by Grapevine. And that'll keep it at a Colleyville 36-7 lead with 6 and change to go in this fourth quarter, presented to you by J. Caldwell Pools. However, we're getting to tell you about how there were 2 different broadcasts tonight here for this game. As Bodie Weaver gets the 1st and 10 snap, tried to get a screen out to Samir Johnson, and he couldn't make the snag. It's incomplete for a 2nd and 10. But the reason we tell you that is throughout this season, we've loved your support of Panther Friday Night here on Tradio, and we've been grateful to be a part of it here on the Tradio production crew. However, there's also, like we mentioned, Mustang Friday Night, and they have their broadcast in the booth right next to us. Reagan Ratcliffe and Brendan Smith doing that call in the booth just to our right here, as it's a really nice run there, as Colleyville's starting to get some others in the ball game with it out of reach right now, and Colin Bennett gets an opportunity to run the football. Is the leading running back at least returning to this team from last year at 43 yards a game a season ago. He was the 2nd leading rusher and leading out of the running back room, but through 26 carries and only 64 yards this year. The time in the backfield primarily has gone to Gerard Wiley and Bryce Abraham this season, but Colin Bennett getting the opportunities on this drive with the game well in favor of Colleyville with 5.5 to go in the fourth quarter. But A.J. Juarez, again, he told us to mention and let everybody know here at Tradio that there are 2 different Tradio broadcasts. But again, if you're hearing this message, we hope you stay with us on Panther Friday Night. But you could also always get the split screen out and hear from the Panther, us here on Panther Friday Night, and Mustang broadcasts here in this Red Rail Rivalry, with 2 different streams going on here on YouTube tonight on Tradio, as it's an attempt from Bodie Weaver out to Dressel. It's incomplete, and the clock stops with just under 5 to go in the fourth quarter. Sets Colleyville up at a 3rd and 8 for Grapevine. 4:51 stands in the way of them trying to put a season in the rearview mirror. Going to fall to 0-10 if this score stands and this lead stands for Colleyville. And coming into tonight, that was really the motivation. Red Rail Rivalry, obviously a big deal. These kids grew up playing against each other, grew up together here in the same city. And the high school separated just by that railroad, as Bodie Weaver steps up and slides down at the 40-yard line on 3rd down. And Colleyville likely just going to punt the football away with 4:40 to go in the fourth quarter, as Bodie Weaver and company walk off the football field. But a game where Colleyville continued to do what they needed to do after falling behind 7-0. So much of Jerry Edwards' message to us, and he even said to his team over the last few weeks, was you have to find a way to get cranked up and get going early. And every time it seems like that's a theme going into a game. They fall behind early, but somehow they find a way to fight back from the 14-0 deficits that they've faced heading into this ball game. Throughout this 4-game win streak, the second half defense has been the story. And tonight, same thing. They've pitched a shutout thus far in the second half. They've only surrendered 13 points in the second half in the last 4 games, and make it 5 games if they don't allow any tonight. That's a pretty impressive mark. And after falling behind 7-0, it's 36 unanswered for Colleyville. 3 rushing touchdowns tonight from 3 different candidates, Bodie Weaver, Gerard Wiley, and Bryce Abram. And then through the air, Bodie Weaver, a pair of scores as well, both to the sophomore Samir Johnson, a 35-yard catch at the tail end of the first half, and here in the second half as well, made a one-on-one catch in the end zone on a nice Bodie Weaver ball, back shoulder from 6 yards out, as Colleyville enjoying a 36-7 lead. And with Grapevine in no hurry, and with just 3.5 to go, we'll see if they can't try to put together one final drive for their season to be put in the books. One that saw lots of struggle. But always great when these two teams can get together as Contreras gets stopped up. Some second-string players are getting into the ball game. John Afungia into the game as well. A couple games under his belt this season. Maddox Moreno, Wills Hudak, along with Julian Stewart and Dylan Hammond all into the ball game right now. So a fresh front four. A lot of the second-string players getting in for Colleyville with the game out of reach with under 3 to go in the fourth quarter. Holmes gets the snap, and he hands it off to the freshman Jake Graham, and Colleyville still able to get into the backfield, and it's Joe Nisbet who's able to get there first as the clock continues to wind, and Colleyville makes the stop on 3rd down. These two teams come into a new district. Big date that you circled when the schedule came out, November 8th, and knowing how tough it was going to be for both teams. Really, in this district, Colleyville, they've secured the 2 seed. That was not in question tonight. Their playoff matchup is already penciled in, not barring on any final week results. They'll play Anna, the defending state champions in 4A, who moved up to 5A this year. Next week here at Mustang Panther Stadium at 7 o'clock for the opening round of the playoffs. That should be a dandy matchup. We're excited to bring that matchup to you. We'll present more details to you as well as the week goes along with the playoffs, prescribing perhaps a different looking broadcast, but the plan is, from what we've heard, to do a broadcast and be here with you on Panther Friday night. So stay tuned for that, and we hope to see you next week as second-string quarterback Dimitri Hudson is into the ball game, and Trevi Prysha makes a catch on the outside. So the junior backup quarterback Dimitri Hudson getting an opportunity to get into the ball game in a game that, yep, you look at the end of the day, Colleyville 36-7, probably going to be the final score. They win in convincing fashion, but there was a stretch there where they led by just a score. Grapevine had the ball deep in Colleyville territory toward the end of the first half as it's a run by Colin Bennett. But they go for a field goal on 4th and 4 from in close, and they miss the 27-yard try. Gave Colleyville the ball back with a minute and change to go in the first half. They punched it in for a 3rd time in the first half to take a 2-touchdown lead into halftime. And then after that, they scored their first 2 drives in the second half and really put the game to rest after that, playing excellent defense here as well in the second half, as Colleyville will just have to snap this football one more time, and they will get to call it a victory for the second consecutive year here in the Red Rail rivalry. It would be one final run here from Colin Bennett. He gets tackled, but that will put this game in the books. Colleyville wins it 36-7. The final score, the Panthers improve to 8-2, 7-1 in district play. They'll face Anna next week in the opening round of the postseason as the Panthers win their 5th consecutive game, and they're starting to really hit a groove here this season at the end, going into the playoffs with a 5-game win streak and plenty of momentum for the Panthers, who win 36-7. That's our final score here tonight, and we thank you so much for tuning in on Panther Friday night on Radio. Grapevine finishes the season 0-10, and Colleyville moves to 8-2 and ride a 5-game win streak as it's time for playoff football upcoming next week. For Tim Polster and A.J. Juarez, our executive producer Trey Bell, and the rest of the Tradio production crew, I'm Will Connerly saying so long from Mustang Panther Stadium. 36-7, Colleyville wins it.